You're listening to the Long Game Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Scaiano. We do not control time, and we can't always make things happen in our own timetables. We all have unique circumstances and resources, and where you find yourself at any point in your life and business is a seriously intertwined web of happenings that got you there. Everything is based off of what happened before, what you got to clear out, and what it really takes to do those actions. It's never as easy as it seems, right? I'm going all the way down the rabbit hole today, but it's really keeping one finger on the pulse of this concept of circumstances and resources that helps us deal with our day-to-day situations. The ones where we look at others with FOMO, where we think we aren't further along or where we think we aren't doing what we want to be doing. When in reality, we're getting there and our time will come. It's taken a lot for me to get to this place of understanding and acceptance here about this idea. Phrases like, you are where you were meant to be. That ran over and over in my head. But, that was really just mind chatter. I had to do the work to really embody what that phrase meant. So today we're going to break it down. We're going to be talking about accepting your own timing in your business. You're listening to the Long Game Podcast with Sandra Scaiano. In a world where everyone is doing, it's easy to get lost in a sea of comparison, secret tricks, and promises of overnight success. The long game is my approach to business, the actual day in and day out philosophy that you have to show up, you have to do the work, and there's no quick fixes for long-term success. I'm a web designer, digital strategist, and energetic thinker, and I'm here to share the process and lessons I experience with my clients daily who are going through the same struggles of building a business as you are. We'll hear from successful entrepreneurs sharing their long game strategies, and I'm fun, so we're going to have a little fun along the way too. Thanks for being here. Let's get to today's episode. I was talking with a good friend recently, and she is super successful. She's got a great life. She runs a 7-figure business. So much good is going on for her. And she has now identified what's next in her life, what's next for her business. And she sees other people in the world out there doing what her next is already. My friend, she's not there yet. She can't be there yet. She's got a completely different life situation than some of the people she's seeing out in the world. She's got this successful business to keep up. She's managing her house and kids as a single mom. Her timing for shifting into her next, it's going to come in her own right time and not when she's forcing it in her mind, but when you are in it and you are seeing and feeling all the things, right? It is hard to be patient. I get it. But I see how this forcing can really mess with your head. So no matter what you bring to the table, the right things will happen in the right time for you. This isn't about how hard you work. It's about perspective. It's about understanding the place you are in life and the resources that you have at this time. It's a tough pill to swallow. Wait on your dreams, right? But that's not what this conversation is about. No matter what, you are working toward your dreams, towards your next. This conversation is about radical acceptance of the things that you have on your plate and what you are in control of right now. I started my business with 2 babies. I was the primary caretaker, no close family around to help, give me breaks. It has been that way all of these years now. Even now, I am the get up and go to school, the pickup, the drive to sports. And over the years, I have worked my business in spurts because of this, always moving in a direction forward, but certain times working a little more focused on things. And I know in the family life I have built, this is the reality, right? This is it. And it's also the one that I want to have. I want to be involved. So there's a trade-off in my business timing. I can only get so much done in a day before 3 p.m. rolls around. But in this entrepreneurial world, we are fed so much imagery, so much information about how to get there, get to your goals. Like, what does it take to get there? You got to hustle. You got to make the moves. You got to be with the people. There's foreign locales and boats and water, right? All these experiences that happen outside of your home office. And depending on how your life is set up, that's not always possible right now. So radical acceptance of my divine timing, this has helped me to acknowledge the stage of life that I'm at, to be happy with my current day to day instead of wishing my life and my business were different. And, here's the thing though, when we call out that dream, when that next is what you want or need right now, that too can happen. You will figure out a way. And this all sounds a little woo, and it totally is actually, but this is about trusting the universe and trusting in divine timing to deliver what you need when you need it. But along the way, you are always helping yourself. You are always moving toward what your goal is, what your dream is. With acceptance comes peace. That feeling of missing out or feeling like you're failing or falling behind or constantly thinking you're not where you want to be, those thoughts are joy stealers. Those are the thoughts that wear on your psyche when you have them over time. I love that quote. We've all heard it. Comparison is the thief of joy. And we are in this for joy, right? We're in this to live our lives how we want, to make money doing what we love and what we enjoy. And I want to go back to that concept of spurts. Because, I built my business going on 13 years now in spurts. And it's part of my acceptance resistance struggle over the years. Spurts can be times where you really dig in and move yourself forward in the direction you want to go. So you are taking a big leap when, the rest of the time you may be taking steps. And these can be really good for your soul because they leave you feeling accomplished. You can really hunker down for a period of time. But the thing with spurts is that when they aren't stopped, they turn into the uber hustle and the overwhelm and the burnout. So maybe a necessary part of acknowledging and accepting your time is thinking about the concept of working in spurts. Divine timing. It's this phrase that we've heard, but what does it really mean, right? I've mentioned it a few times already. And how can it help us to find success? Essentially, divine timing is the belief that everything happens in its own time, and there is no use in comparing yourself to others. Because the truth is, we all have our own journey and our own timeline. So instead, focus on your path and trust that everything will happen in divine timing. When you do this, you're able to relax into your business, feel the joy of living in the now, and find the success that's meant for you. Acceptance of your timing or surrender to your timing, it may require some effort. It's a challenging of the voice inside your head that's saying one thing, do it, do it, do it, and replacing it with the need to be here now script, the presence script, and what your priorities are at this stage in your life. I'm going to share a few concepts when it comes to releasing into the universe and divine time that you can employ to help you get to that place of acceptance. All right, number one is patience. Right? We hate hearing that. And it's always a tough one to deal with when our minds are telling us one thing and our feelings are telling us another. But being anxious and impatient can actually be a clue into other emotions that we might be experiencing, such as fear, for instance. And slowing down can often be the quickest way to what we want. Keep in mind, even the tortoise beat the hare in the end. All right, number two, also related to patience, is letting go. Letting go allows for you to release and stop forcing things. It's part of acceptance. You accept your circumstances and your present resources and let go of expectations, some of which may be unrealistic. So letting go lets the joy in, and the more room for space, it's got spaciousness there. And with space comes creative thoughts, new ways of looking at old problems, new ideas, and new influences that you can apply to the direction that you're moving. All right, number 3 is try not to plan too much. When you are releasing all of this into divine timing, there is preparation and there is working towards a goal. And then there is completely harassing your goal over planning it. There are some things that you just can't plan for, right? Like life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. With a rigorous plan, you might bump into heartache and frustration when your real life circumstances interrupt your plan. And I love a good mapping out of things. Like this is such a help, especially when you have spurts and you're working in spurts of things. I like to map out the overarching tasks and as you go, fill in the specifics for each. This way, when you have a spurt of time, there's a list and direction to refer to. But filling in the specifics at that time allows for you to bring your new energy and new learnings and new influence to your long game project. All right, and number 5, not being attached to the outcome. We're talking goals here, so this one might seem counterintuitive, but part of the joy comes from the process. So go through the steps and let the path become clearer with each step. Always thinking of the outcome, reaching your goal, making money, etc. That puts a lot of stress on you. Always be working in the direction of the goal and break it down into smaller steps. This is going to lighten the emotional baggage you are carrying and let you celebrate the wins along the way. So give it up to divine timing in your business. It's important to realize that timing is everything in business and in life. Just because someone else is further along than you doesn't mean that they're better than you. And just because someone else is having success doesn't mean it's not possible for you to have success too. Everything happens in its own time. So instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey and trust that the success will come in its due course. This is living life in the now and enjoying the journey, not just wishing for the final destination. All right, everyone. As always, thank you for listening. Let me know how you feel about this. Message me on Facebook or Instagram and let me know your thoughts about this. Is this something you're experiencing? Have you accepted your own divine timing? I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, have a great week. Thanks for joining me today. You can access more info in the show notes at thelonggamepodcast.net. If today's show connected with you in some way, please share it with your friends or hop on iTunes and leave me a review. Until next time, keep playing the long game.